Hello Virgo, my name is Paul and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Right. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Knight of Swords to begin. Okay, there might be an air sign person in your life that is trying to send a message into you. I don't know if that's really the case, though. We're going to have to put this into some context. I don't know if I would say that's another person. Because, yeah, I'm feeling this is more, I'm getting the image of, a bird kind of swooping down. And to me it feels inspirational, right? It feels that maybe you are, yeah, okay, that's what it is. I think that something is coming in to really inspire you. I think that you're kind of getting lit up by something, right? You're being motivated by something that really taps into a deeper part of your emotional life, right? Something that really hits an emotional spot for you. Maybe something from your childhood. It just sparks something in you that really gives us this inspiration, this transcending energy with this Fool. Oh, the Tower. We haven't seen a Tower card in quite a while. Yeah, man, this is, I feel new ideas, right? I feel like something is really, something's really coming in that sparks something tremendous in you. It leads all the way to a Tower. It's got to be something very significant. We're going to do our mystery card here. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to put it here. Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. Okay, we'll see how it might tie everything together. If at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments section of this video. I want to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, if we can collectively tap into source, tap into our intuition, and start discerning that card together. Okay? First, let's look around the room here. We only have these two major arcana, the Fool and the Tower. Both are kind of, both have this feeling of liberation to them, right? A lot of energy that's been pent up is finally being expressed. It's being released, right? We're seeing the truth. We're speaking the truth. And the Fool is kind of it's a similar thing here. The Fool is not restricted by anything. The Fool is kind of just a pure spirit, right? So it is not bound by any kind of conventions or rules or laws, any kind of structure. Nothing can hold this in. But to get these two court cards right here in the middle, this was interesting. Now there's no wands. The fire that we have is in the Tower. The fire that we have is in the Knight of Swords. It's fire of air. Right? So I feel like this is something coming down, swooping down into your life that has that, it's bringing that fire with it, right? It's kind of, it's something that's going to spark something deep in you that's going to lead to a release of this creative energy. This is very, very interesting. So there's no fire overtly. There's really no water here either, except for this. I think this Princess of Cups is kind of a younger version of you. Right? We do have some air energy that we have to deal with. And these are the challenge, and these are usually the challenges, right? Especially when we're kind of being sparked to some kind of transcendent action, some kind of a transformation or a release of creative energy. But our mind kind of gets in the way. Well, I've got too many responsibilities. Well, I don't have much time today to do it. Blah, 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 right? It's always our thinking that kind of gets in the way, our intellect that tries to say, oh wait, hey, no, I'll take care of this. I'll schedule some time, I'll sort it out, I'll make a plan. Where really what we're trying to do, or what spirit is trying to do, what your soul is trying to do, is just feel this inspiration and release it and let it out and create and do something that you feel inspired to do. Okay, and we do have some earth energy too, which is good. Let's start with the earth energy. Let's start with this Two of Pentacles, and this is right behind us. And this, I think, is really the kind of the life that we've been living, right? I think that this was us in the recent past, trying to just live our life, right? Trying to just do our daily things. I don't want to say monotonous, but it's kind of, to me, it has this kind of a metronome, kind of tick tock kind of feeling to it. That we've been trying to stay in the routine. We've been trying to just take care of our responsibilities, right? Just our kind of daily work. And then with this earth energy up here, with the Knight of Pentacles, there's fire in here too, right? There's fire in both of these cards. We have a Knight of Swords and a Knight of Pentacles. And I think the fire really that's coming into your life, it's a creative fire. It's a spiritual fire. It's an enlightening fire. It's an awakening fire. It's the fire of consciousness, right? Of awareness. I think it's coming into your earth energy, right? Kind of in here. And it's bringing us out of this routine, maybe monotony. I don't like to use the word monotony, but it kind of feels that way. And I think that we've been in a period of privacy, right? Of really valuing our privacy, staying contained, and maybe it was kind of incubating this fire energy, right? Between these two, I feel like we kind of immersed ourselves in this daily life, in the kind of the humdrum monotony of life, as a way to just kind of isolate ourselves, as a way to maybe hermetically seal ourselves within a routine life that was, on a spiritual level, incubating this creative force. Okay? And I think you experienced it as you were just interested in privacy for a while, right? You just kind of wanted to detach from too much, right? And we just immersed ourselves in our work, perhaps, with these two. But that fire energy now is ready to inform your mind, right? It's coming in through this air, right? The air, this bird or dragonfly, whatever this is bringing this fire energy down right into your consciousness. And I think what's happening is that there is an activation of this kind of dream that you've had, right? And maybe this is like I said, a younger version of you. It's the Princess of Cups. This is maybe a childhood fantasy, something that you've always dreamed about, something that hits a very emotional button for you, but in a good way, right? As far as something that you, maybe a synchronicity that taps into a recurring dream that you used to have, or something that you really had a rich imagination or fantasy life built around when you were a kid, right? Something like that. I think it kind of sparks that. It reawakens that kind of, that dreamy childhood self, you know. You ever think back to when you were a kid and you try to remember what it was like to be a kid, you know? And the kind of imagination that kids have. You ever try to get that back? So maybe some of us haven't lost that, but I feel like the more we get into our intellect, the more we get into our kind of daily monotonous, lives, or at least that section of life. Again, I don't like that word monotony, but it seems like we get further and further away from this imagination, the richness of that imagination. I think something is reanimating that for you, right? And it could be another person. It could be an event. It could be just something that you see or hear somewhere, right? That awakens that. And it really pushes us forward to this Fool energy, to this sense of this feeling like almost that we just want to leave everything behind and just get lost in the clouds with this, right? This is the impulse to transcend everything. Okay? We're keeping ourselves grounded, though. There's these other swords cards and the Three of Pentacles here in the environment. We're not getting lost in the clouds, though we want to. We have a Seven of Swords down here. We've got a lot of stuff to do here. We've got, first of all, the Two of Pentacles. We have to spin the yes-no coin. Okay? So here's the yes-no coin, Two of Pentacles. It's one of these unwritten rules, which I should really write down. Think of a yes or no question. It could be anything. And I'll spin the coin. I'm not going to flip it because I have stuff up there that could break cameras and stuff. But I'll spin the coin. Think of your question. Pause the video if you want. And we'll spin. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. And it's interesting that it landed on this Nine of Swords. This is the position of what we don't want. This is all of the negative things we tell ourselves. Right? This is the way we kind of poison our own creative will, poison our own mind with doubt. But this coin is saying yes, right? All these swords might be saying no, but this coin said yes. Very interesting. And now with the Seven of Swords, we started to talk about this. This is the idea that we're trying to figure out, like, you know, you've got this feeling now. Something has happened in your life that has reawakened that imagination, right? That inspiration. Now we're trying to figure out, how can I express that? What can I do with that? And of course, the intellect starts to say, oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I'll put it on the list. I'll create a plan. I'll schedule a block of time for you to do that. With the Seven of Swords, we have to do a botanical inspiration card. That's another of these unwritten rules. Because I feel like that is a lot of doubt as well. You know, it's a lot of us kind of wanting to do something, right? We've got the Ace of Swords right there in the middle, but there are these other little voices, these other lesser egos, or people around us, it could be, that are trying to demotivate us, right? Trying to tell us kind of not to do something. Let's see. The Dahlia, dignity. A wise person has dignity without pride. A fool has pride without dignity. So there, I think, is the dilemma for you. We want to just fly away and get lost in the clouds, but there's stuff tying us down to this plane. We can't just leave our work, our family, our friends, our, you know, can't get completely lost in this effort to manifest this dream. So we need a different kind of strategy. The first, well, we've got to do an I Ching card too, because we have the Fool. Gosh, I don't know if we'll ever get through this reading. So for the Fool, anytime we get a Fool card, we've got to do an I Ching card. And this will tell us perhaps how we can manage this dilemma, right? Wanting to get lost, but still having responsibilities. 7, the Army. It's all about discipline. With constancy, mature people, good fortune, no mistake. The Army. And it says, just because something isn't the goal doesn't make it the enemy. Balance the focused and intense drive to get it done with a measured, disciplined approach. This will allow you to achieve your objective effectively and with less collateral damage. Good fortune, without mistake. What are you aiming for? How can you get more from your strengths? With all of your efforts, are you creating the life you want? Well, that's very interesting for the Fool, right? We don't want the collateral damage. We want to accomplish our goal, whatever that turns out to be. We want to follow this inspiration, but we don't want to completely abandon the work that we're already doing or the life that we already have set up. We're not trying to do that. That's not what our objective is, right? So I think first we do have to know what we're aiming for. And here's the Princess of Swords on the other side, Path of the Serpent. This is usually an intellect that is trying desperately to defend against something. So it could be the part of you that is trying to fight off this inspiration, trying to deny it, right? It says, no, I'm not letting that energy in. I don't have time for it. That was just a silly dream when I was a kid, and I don't want to get involved, right? But this is a weak card. It is a card that does not have the strength, I don't think, to resist the inspiration coming from the Knight of Swords. But I feel like this is kind of the general energy right now. It's just saying, well, God, if I were to do this, then it would just be, it's impractical, right? Impractical is our reasoning to say no. The coin said yes. The I Ching is saying yes, I feel, but we have to be smart about it. The next card is the Three of Pentacles. This is understanding the process of creation on the physical plane. This is part of the discipline of the I Ching. We have to know what is involved. We have to know what we will have to commit to. What is it going to take for you to realize this dream, to manifest this dream, to begin expressing it? Well, like I said, first we have to know what it is. First we've got to know. And then this is also your commitment and your responsibility to the life you already have. Okay? So you've got a lot of plates spinning here. But see, if we can keep everything running efficiently and smoothly, then we can have our life, and we can still have this breakthrough and have the release of this creative energy, this inspiration, which is what we're getting with the Tower at the end, right? So we understand the process of creation on the physical plane. We know what it takes. We know what needs to be in place for this all to work. It's time for you to put all of this stuff in place so that you can have this creative outlet. Right? And now we're going to skip right over the Nine of Swords. We're going to talk about the Tower. The Tower is a real energetic breakthrough. It is the release of a lot of creative energy that's been building and building and building, probably beneath the surface, unconsciously. And with the Tower, there's usually, we haven't had the Tower on this channel in a while, feels like. But there's always the idea of collateral damage. We have this breakthrough, we have this release of energy. Is something getting damaged, through that process? Is something being torn down? Well, I think if we're aware of this coming, right, if we know that this is something taking place, we can put the right kind of plans and systems in place so that this is a controlled Tower moment, right? So that it's not something that just sneaks up on you and causes a lot of havoc, disrupts your life. But this is something that needs to happen. Look, it's got the eye at the top, it's got the mouth down here at the bottom. This is us seeing the truth and speaking the truth, your truth. Right? This is an energy in you that really does need to find some expression. Okay? And I'm curious about that mystery card. Because I don't want that Tower card to be disruptive. We don't want that, like the I Ching. We don't want that collateral damage. you know. But to me, that feels like, it feels like a release, right? It feels like something that will transform your life. There will be some disruption, right? The Jing even says, so that there is less collateral damage. There still might be some, right? But less of it. And maybe this is, you know, part of the reason for it. Well, there needs to be a little disruption. Maybe we need to get out of a little bit of what this was. How we've immersed ourselves in this. And we've been pushing our kind of true imagination, instinct, whatever. We've been kind of pushing that down, hiding that, repressing that a little bit. Now it needs to come out. It needs expression. Let's look at the mystery card. This is the point of the reading where I'll ask you to connect with these energies. Let's try to discern this card together. Let's see how it might apply to this reading. You can pause the video if you like, and then I'll go ahead and offer my guess. I feel like it needs to be water, or it needs to be some major arcana, maybe the High Priestess, maybe the Empress, maybe the Star. Maybe it needs to be the Hermit, right? Your power card, your patron energy. All right, Virgo, let's see. Wow, 2 of Wands. I've been off lately. I think all of the mystery cards have been Wands. So I think that it does really come down to the choice. We're either going to choose to follow this and go after this, or we're choosing to ignore it and it's just going to surprise us one day anyway. Right? So with this figure here, it's kind of, you know, it's not really much of a choice, right? Do I do it or do I do it? You know, it's just a matter of how we are going to approach it, how we are going to relate to it, how we're going to handle it. Not a question of whether or not it's coming, this breakthrough, this release of this spiritual energy, creative force. It's not a matter of if, but when and how. Okay. We are going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click either above or below in the video description. New readings for Virgo every Tuesday and Saturday at 6 a.m. Chicago time. Virgo, I want you to remember that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.